Welcome to Actors Are Born, the podcast that takes you on a discovery of the icons of cinema. Today, we're talking about an actress who has embodied fragility and strength, innocence and seduction with the same mastery, the unmistakable Michelle Pfeiffer. With her magnetic gaze and a crystalline talent, she has marked the imagination of entire generations, giving us memorable performances. Born in Santa Ana, California on April 29, 1958, Michelle Marie Pfeiffer is the second of 4 children. Initially, her future seemed far from film sets. She enrolled in college with the idea of becoming a court reporter, but soon dropped out to work as a sales clerk. It was winning a beauty pageant, Miss Orange County, that made her see the possibility of a career in the entertainment world. From that moment, she began studying acting at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, taking her first steps in television. The turning point came in 1983, when Brian De Palma chose her for the role of Elvira Hancock in Scarface, alongside Al Pacino, a role that established her as a style icon and opened the doors of Hollywood to her. From that moment, her career has been a succession of successes and courageous choices, which have led her to work with directors of the caliber of Martin Scorsese and Tim Burton, and to act alongside stars like Sean Connery and Jack Nicholson. But who is Michelle Pfeiffer off the set? An actress who has always protected her private life. Married since 1993 to producer and screenwriter David E. Kelley, she has 2 children. A fun fact, before becoming famous as a young woman, she had a car accident because of a bad flu. Furthermore, due to her mixed origins, Swedish, German, Swiss, Dutch, and Irish, she jokingly called herself a mutt. Another interesting tidbit concerns her approach to roles. She is known for the in-depth psychological study she dedicates to each character. But that's not all. Her career is also studded with excellent no's. She turned down roles in hugely successful films like Basic Instinct and Casino, both of which went to Sharon Stone, Pretty Woman, and The Silence of the Lambs. Choices that, in hindsight, show a strong personality and the will to follow a very specific artistic path. Now, as promised, let's dive into 3 of her most iconic performances. Dangerous Liaisons, 1988. In this masterpiece by Stephen Frears, based on the epistolary novel of Choderlos de la Clos, Michelle Pfeiffer plays the virtuous and devout Madame de Tourvel. The plot unfolds in 18th century France, a world of idle and hypocritical nobles. The wicked Marquess de Merteuil, Glenn Close, and her former lover, the Vicomte de Valmont, John Malkovich, are 2 libertines who delight in cruel games of seduction. For revenge, the Marquess challenges Valmont to seduce the young and innocent Cécile de Volanges, Uma Thurman, and, an even more difficult test, the chaste Madame de Tourvel. Valmont, a notorious and unscrupulous seducer, accepts the challenge. What begins as a perverse game, however, turns into an unexpected feeling. Valmont genuinely falls in love with de Tourvel. But the Marquess's jealousy and rigid social conventions will lead to a tragic end, made of broken hearts and destroyed lives. Michelle Pfeiffer's performance earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress.
Scarface, 1983. I want what's coming to me. The world, Chico, and everything in it. This is the philosophy of Tony Montana, played by a monumental Al Pacino. In this cult classic by Brian De Palma, Michelle Pfeiffer is Elvira Hancock, the beautiful and drug-addicted wife of boss Frank Lopez. The plot follows the rise and fall of Tony Montana, a Cuban refugee who arrives in Florida and, with ferocity and determination, climbs the ranks of organized crime, becoming a powerful drug lord. Tony falls madly in love with Elvira, whom he sees as the ultimate symbol of the success he craves. After eliminating his boss, he marries her, but their marriage is destined to fall apart amidst cocaine and dissatisfaction. Elvira, bored and spoiled, becomes the mirror of the emptiness hidden behind Tony's empire. Her elegant and melancholic figure is fundamental in showing the price of Montana's distorted American dream.
Lady Hawk, 1985. A romantic and adventurous fantasy that made a whole generation dream. Set in 13th century France, Lady Hawk tells the tormented love story of Captain Etienne Navarre, Rutger Hauer, and the beautiful Isabeau d'Anjou, Michelle Pfeiffer. They are victims of a terrible curse cast by the evil Bishop of Aquila, who is also in love with Isabel. By day, she transforms into a hawk. By night, he becomes a black wolf. So they are condemned to be always together, eternally apart, only able to glimpse each other in human form for a fleeting moment at dawn and dusk. A young pickpocket named Philippe Gaston, or the Mouse, Matthew Broderick, will help them as he is the only one able to communicate with both. The hope of breaking the spell lies in an astrological event, a solar eclipse, a moment of neither day nor night, that could finally reunite the two lovers. From femme fatale to romantic heroine, passing through complex and tormented characters, Michelle Pfeiffer has demonstrated extraordinary versatility. An actress who, with her elegance and her talent, has managed to conquer Hollywood without ever losing her aura of mystery. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening to Actors Are Born. See you next time for another episode with another star of the cinema.